February 12th, 2005 is a day I will never forget. It was a beautiful winter's day, not a cloud in the sky. Fresh blanket of white snow covered the ground and trees. It was a perfect day. It was so perfect that it was Valentine's Day weekend and I was gonna actually take it off. Wanted to spend a little QT with my honey. But I decided to go in. The work day started off like a typical work day for a Detroit police officer. Got dressed, me and my partner went out, got a couple of runs in from dispatch, checked on some places, stopped by a couple special attentions, nothing serious. The day kind of just went on. We decided to get a code, and for you civilians in the building, that's a lunch. So we decided to eat at a local restaurant. We sat there, and the food was good. So we decided to get a pull on our code to go back to the precinct and do some paperwork. When we got to the light, dispatch came over the radio, and she dispatched a priority 1 run in a neighboring precinct. We were actually at the light, and it was a local restaurant that we can see from where we were. Everything seemed normal. The run came out, armed robbery in progress. They were still serving food out the drive-through window, so we thought it was a false alarm. So my partner got the pull, told radio, we'll back that unit up. We got there before the other car did, and a lady was standing in the parking lot, jumping up and down hysterically, waving her arms. She said she had just got robbed. A suspect came out of the restaurant, produced a gun up under his jacket, so she thought, and told her to run her pockets. Fearing for her life, she did such. She gave up everything she had. My partner asked for a description of the suspect. We got a good description, and she also told us the direction he fled in. So we gave that information to dispatch, and we proceeded to go down the right street. We turned on the right corner, and we saw the suspect matching the description walking eastbound from our direction. So I decided to get on the bullhorn, and I told the suspect, hey, big fella, put your hands up. How many of you know he didn't comply? A chase ensued, so we took off going towards him. He turned around and ran back, going westbound, put the car in reverse, started flowing backwards. Suspect doubled back and went back in the direction he was walking in. At this time, I was a little ticked off. So I'm flying, I'm going towards him, told my partner, get out, we're gonna race, we're gonna get him. We pulled up, he ended up jumping in between 2 houses, and so he was going eastbound, so I told my partner, take the car, go around the block, catch him out, coming eastbound. But he didn't run eastbound. He ended up hopping houses south from our location. So I hit the fence, he hit the fence. Hit another fence, I dove over it, caught the suspect, put him up on the fence on the opposite side, told him to keep his hands up, let me see him. He complied, he had his hands up above his head. Radio was calling for my position. 614 prep, where you at, where's your location? 614 prep. So I had my weapon out, so in order to get dispatched my location, I had to let him go, but I leaned on him, I'm 2 houses south. When that happened, the suspect turned. I grabbed him, took him down to the ground, put my knee and shoulder on to get his down position, to get him stuck in the snow there, brought my weapon up for officer safety. As I went back down to grab him, stop screaming, stop resisting, the unthinkable happened. Bang, 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 bang. Shots fired. I was shot 6 times that night. Twice in the chest, stomach, the hip, the thigh, and the lower left leg. Heroism. If heroism is a gene in the human body, I believe that this gene is activated with certain triggers. But more importantly, I believe that there are certain qualities that you and I must possess in order to launch or catapult us towards our destiny. The first quality that you and I must possess is drive. Say drive. Come on, say drive. an innate biological determined urge to attain a goal or satisfy a need. 3 areas in our life that typically drives us is our will, our emotions, and our intellect. Our will. My question to you today is, what wills you? You heard a lot of stories on the stage tonight of individuals that have been pushed and drove by their will, their passions. For me that night, what willed me to survive? I get that question all the time. What was it that kept me there to not pass out, to not panic? It was my children and my family. Staying with the consistent theme of heroism, I think of one of the greatest superheroes of all time, Clark Kent. What was it that willed Clark Kent to become the Man of Steel? Was it the destruction of his home planet, Krypton? I don't think so. Maybe it was the death of his earthly father, Jonathan Kent, who taught him morals, values, ethics, told him how to use the gift that was given to him for good and not evil. I love the quote by Victor Hugo, people don't lack strength, they lack the will. So I ask you, what is it that wills you? What about our emotions? One of the greatest gifts given to us. Cry, anger, rage. I think of another superhero, Bruce Wayne. What drove Bruce Wayne to become the Dark Knight? The Joker, he coined the phrase, why, you're so serious? Because Bruce Wayne, if you know, he was angry. He was an angry man. He was a superhero, but he was angry. But why? It was the death of his mother and father, Thomas and Martha Wayne, shot before him as a young child. So our emotions is a great tool to drive us. What are you emotional about? What about your intellect? I tell my children, or I ask them every day I pick them up from school, what did you learn today that you didn't know yesterday? Talking to my youth. There's a quote, all that you know is not all there is to learn, and all that you learn is not all there is to know. So always take the position of a learner. You should always put something in you to drive you. You have to have that education. So not only do we must possess the quality of being driven or drive, the second quality that you and I have or need is dedication. Say my dedication. Come on, dedication. A quality of being dedicated or committed to a task or purpose. 3 areas in our life that we're typically dedicated in: our family, our friends, and our careers. Our family, again, dedicated to honor my mother. My mother, 2 months after I was shot, died of a massive heart attack at 47 years old. I still honor her today. Old Proverbs say, honor thy mother and thy father, and your days on this earth shall be long. Message. Right? But then I saw a story. If you don't know this gentleman right here, DeAndre Hopkins, a wide receiver for the Houston Texans. ESPN did a cover story on this gentleman. His mother suffered a tragic event when he was 10 years old. She had acid thrown in her face, so she was blinded. She lost her sight. He focused his energy towards athletics and football, and she has never seen him play a game of football. But what was interesting was what he said. He said, Mom, if you had not gone through what you did, I don't know if I'll be where I am today. His family, his dedication to his mother. After every touchdown he receives in the end zone, he runs and hands it to his mom. He has become her hero, but I think she's his. Your family. What about your friends? Everybody have friends in here, correct? If it had not been for the men and women in blue that night, I probably would not be standing before you today. I love the recent Harvard study that concluded that friends helps us deal with stress, make better decision lifestyles, choices, allows us to rebound from health issues and diseases more quickly. Friendship is equally important to our mental health. You've heard the common theme on the stage tonight. Everybody talk about having people in your corner. There's 3 people you need to have in your life: a mentor, someone you can walk alongside with, a friend, and then someone you're mentoring to, or a mentee in your life. And then your careers. Everybody in here loves their job, especially the ones that's not there right now. But a recent Gallup poll says that 30% of U.S. workers are engaged in their jobs. Another 20% is non-engaged. An astounding 20% actively disengaged. What are they saying? They're saying that people hate their jobs. I know that's none of you. We all love what we do. But just imagine what your city would look like, what your neighborhoods in the state would look like, what this country would look like if everybody got up and they were walking into their destiny, fulfilled. Imagine what this world would look like. So not only must we be choices or qualities we must have is drive, the second quality, dedication, but our third is discipline. Everybody say discipline. Discipline. Active exercise or regime that develops or improves a skill or training. 3 areas in our life: time, energy, and effort. Time. What are you doing with your time? One of the greatest minds of the 21st century, I think, and most influential individuals in the world said this: your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Steve Jobs. Game of Thrones watchers, where you at? Okay, all right. Any other binge watchers in here? Right? You're wasting time living someone else's dreams. Think about it. Someone else wrote them stories, but you spending 5-6 hours. Okay, let me go to the kids. Game, Fortnite. Fortniters? Yeah, okay, y'all not gonna admit it, I get it. But you've been on it 5-6 hours. Trust me, my son plays it. But are you wasting your time living someone else's life? What about your energy? We know energy comes from within. Everybody that stepped on this stage had energy, right? I think of a superhero, the mighty Thor. If you watch the Avengers Endgame, Thor lost himself, right? Come on, everybody saw it. He was beat up, depressed, didn't have no fire in him no more. What was he putting in him? He obviously wasn't the good stuff. Look how big he is, right? But I'm just saying, if you're going to walk into your destiny, you got to have the energy to do so. And if you take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul, then we'll become the great mighty Thor, protector of the 7 realms, Asgardian. Man, I look like I was in the gym earlier. Okay. But man, energy and then effort. Aristotle said this: we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, it's a habit. Excellence is not an act, it's a habit. Are you developing good habits in your life? You need it. You have to if you order to walk into that destiny of yours. It takes 21 days to create a habit and 21 days to break one. So my challenge to you is, are you developing these habits? So the question I asked earlier, if heroism is a gene in the human body, and when that gene is activated by life issues, you heard many stories up here. As long as you're living, you're gonna go through something. But there's qualities that you must possess. Do you have them? I say yes, because your drive, your dedication, and your discipline would determine your destiny. And I'm gonna leave you with this. Everything great that has ever happened in humanity since the beginning started with a single thought in someone's mind. And if any one of us is capable of such a great thought, then all of us have the same capacity, capability, because we are all the same. Thank you. Be a hero.